Hey everyone, will I do intro? Yeah, look. Hey everyone, Tonia Reeves, Australia's Cowgirl medium here. And Tony is coming on. He's just running a few minutes late because he's flat out. And as you can imagine, at the clinic, there's so many things that he's organising and balls that he's juggling. I was going to say that doesn't sound right, does it? Anyhow, so Tony will be joining us soon, and I just thought I'd jump on first and say g'day, see who's out there and what's been happening with everyone, because we have got the full moon that's currently happening at the moment, so it's really interesting vibes out there. And yeah, I'm just interested to see how everyone's I suppose coping slash dealing with the current energies, or what's been going on for everyone. And yeah, let us know what's been happening, because we it's a really interesting vibe. And I'm just checking that I am live, because I'm hoping I've done this right. It's been a hot week, and it's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I really don't. And I'll blame the full moon. I can blame anything, I suppose, can't I? But yeah, I'm just going to check, because it's not coming up that I'm live. So I'm not sure. If you're seeing this, throw me a like or a comment. Let me see. See. Yep. I will just check out. Yep. Okay. I'm just going to keep talking, because I'm assuming I'm live, but you just never know sometimes. So anyway, it's 9:30. We've had daylight savings, so that's been really interesting, because it's changed the what was I going to say? God, I can't talk today. It's really bad, isn't it? Morning, Tash. Who's coping with daylight savings? Well, it makes you feel like we're an hour behind. Like last night, I was like, what time is it? I felt like it was a really long day. All those fun things that happen when we're thrown out of whack with timing. But yeah, in amongst that full moon eclipse, we've got a lot going on. So how's your world? How's things, Tash, in your world? What's been happening? Please share and let us know where you're at and what's going on for you right now. So we've just come back from being away. So looking forward to being at home over Easter. When everyone's away, we'll stay away. We'll stay at home and let everyone else be away and enjoying their time off over Easter. So yeah, that's pretty much it for us. We won't necessarily go anywhere, hang out. We've got some stuff to do with horses. Natasha, you put your body clock out. It does. I agree, Tash. How's everyone coping with daylight savings? Like, I'm happy that it's not as dark in the morning, because it was really too hard to get up when it's that dark. Hey, Carly, how's things? Carly's got the big crystal live tomorrow. Carly, share the link so that those that might be really needing some crystal assistance right now, especially with the full moon, great time to be jumping on board. And Carly's got some amazing crystals in stock up there in Seymour. So if you're around about in Seymour, go and check out Carly's range. She's got some really great deals, always has great deals and some great things up there. Lorinda's completely thrown out of whack, especially being bedridden. Rin, sorry to hear that. Hopefully they're getting to the bottom of it. It is a time where things should be being uncovered. So we'll send out from our TNT team, we will send out the vibes to say, hey, let's send Lorinda some healing and for an outcome that's easy, Rin. Let me have a look. And we've got Tash working a bit and feeling old. Yeah, Tash, I can relate. My daughter turned 20. Oh, I know. I've got one. My daughter's 21 this month. It's like, where does the time go? Who agrees when they're little, you think that you're going to have these little kids that you're going to manage forever, and it feels like it's never ending. And then just one day you wake up and they've grown up. It's like, when did that happen? Hey, Jen, how are you? Oh, Jen's got her grandson today, so I'll have to watch the replay. Happy full moon to you all. Yeah, great. Thanks, Jen. Have fun with your grandson. That sounds like great fun. Great, great, great fun. That is awesome. Rin is having a procedure to hopefully get answers. Okay. What's your gut feeling on it, Rin? What have you been feeling that it is? Obviously, you've had stuff happening and you're just not sure on what, or are they giving you indication? Any ideas? Gallbladder, appendix, anything? Throw it out there. See what the team comes in. Jen, I'm liking this. I'm in a silly mood with this. I'm going to put this on up. Yes. Who's agreeing with this? This full moon, it's like, I was like, today, I realized it was full moon. I didn't even look at last night. How bad's that? Normally, I would look and go, you know, what's happening? Shelby's back. Shelby, are you working from home today? No, she's not here. Having a good laugh. Phone number is my name on a document at the moment. My phone number. Oh my God. I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Yeah, Tony will be on Tash. Absolutely. Tony's coming on. Hey Deb, haven't connected for ages. I hope you're going well. Please share what's been happening. I've got to bump into beautiful Alex a couple of times at truck shows, which has really been so cool. Really, really cool. And Jen's put love to all, not live, but keep living. I know, Tony said like 7 minutes. What time are we at? Oh, no, he's got another minute. That's okay. That's okay. We'll give him a bit of grace. Helps. It's hard to keep talking on your own because it's like I feel like I'm just being normal talking to myself. No one's out there. But anyway, I'm sure he'll be on soon. And any other insights energetically at the moment with the full moon? Anyone experiencing stuff happening? It's a bit of a cray-cray time and great time to release stuff. And then with the eclipses, I actually kept some info on that because I was quite interested in the eclipses. Lorinda's got all the symptoms of appendicitis, but nothing showing up on tests or scans. Okay, they think it's something to do with your bowel. Rightio. Okie dokie. That is interesting. Eclipse season, up-leveling your home, body, and life. And you may be noticing that the past keeps coming up for review. So that's interesting, particularly events and themes that are similar to those back. This is Elizabeth Peru. I love her stuff. I think she's great. Check her out. Especially stuff that similar to those that happened around April in 2005. Does anyone remember 2005? Because I don't. 2005. Shelby would you have been 3? Yeah, it's crazy. But anyway, what's Deb put up? Oh, Tony, here we're getting you on, Tony, because everyone's calling out for you.
What happened?
Everyone's going, Tony, where are you? We miss you.
No, my apologies, everybody.
If you could be listening, Tony, we would have heard, we want Tony. We want Tony.
Just what you want to hear when you come into the Easter break. It's absolutely, hello, everybody. My apologies. This morning's going to be a little bit all over the shop. I'll be jumping in and out, actually. But, hey, good to see you all. I'm going to sit here and just, I know, Shelb, sorry, mate. I know, unacceptable. Congratulations, by the way, Tonia, for the new member of the family coming in. Very exciting.
Yes. We got granddaughter, which is grandbaby number 6. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. She's very cute. Shelby's a very excited auntie. So that's great. Yeah, and she's a really beautiful little baby, really cute. They're all very cute when they're that tiny. She's so little. She's very cute. So, Lorinda's going in for surgery today, so they're not sure what they're going to do an exploration because they're not sure if it's appendicitis or something to do with the bowel. They can't tend to work that out. And then Deb's come on, who hasn't been on for ages, and she's going to get the sleeve done to lose some weight.
Okay.
And like her son's had it done, so he's had great success with that. Deb, have you thought about too? Another option I'm hearing a lot about is the injections that people are utilizing that are designed for type 2 diabetics. What do they call it? Ozempic. Gee, they're having some results with people. I've got a girlfriend that's lost about 12 kilos with that. And there's many others that you're hearing about. So it was designed to help your metabolism speed up, I believe, for those with type 2 diabetes. And there's been some really great success with weight loss with it. So there's another one. I'll throw that out to you, Deb. I don't know whether you're booked in already. But yeah, it might be worth, having a go at that beforehand. So, because Deb's having dialysis too at the moment. So got a lot going on, Tony, and a full moon.
And the full moon. It's the craziness that is. I just want to say, hey, Tash, it's been a year since she's been going out with a lovely partner. So congratulations on that. It's always nice to hear the good news as well. Deb, good on you. Look, you know, Deb, you know, weight gain is a real bugger. Look, you know, it is. Look, I know in our family we've always struggled with it. You know, the joke used to be my mum used to look at food and put on weight. Whereas I had a friend of mine the other day, he was describing a breakfast, and I thought, oh shit, I think I'd put on 3 kilos just from listening to what you had for breakfast. But yeah, it's a sensitive issue though, and it's a really challenging one as well. Deb, I'm going to take my hat off to you and say congratulations for, you know, going out there and getting the sleeve done. Great. It really, really is great to do. And it's a brave thing to do. And look at look at it as a long-term sort of journey. I think we normally, and we all know this ourselves, guys, we've all been on the yo-yo diets and everything like that, haven't we? You know, it's taken you a while to put it on. So it's going to take a while to take it off, and surgery is going to help you. And it's a gradual thing. It's a journey. It really, really is. I don't know about you guys. Who else has had that struggle with their weight? I'll pull up my hand straight away. My weight's like a stock market. It goes up and down. You too, Tonia? Yeah. Yep. I think if they were going to describe my weight over my life and it was to be put into a movie, it would be called The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is what it would be called.
I know it's easier said than done sometimes, isn't it? It's like crazy. Yep. Absolutely crazy. You know, sometimes you can drop it easily, and it is a lot to do with what's going on around you as well, I believe.
Of course.
Yeah, well, we eat for comfort, don't we? So if we're in a crap situation sometimes, and especially Deb, she said her hubby's going through a lot of health stuff, and you know, it's a worry, and you can understand that. You know, you tend to want to have that comfort in situations like that.
Absolutely. And surround, and it sounds like you're doing the right thing. What I like about Debbie's, and I think everybody here can really relate to is that she's putting it out there and also sort of asking for support in a way, in an indirect way, going, hey, I'm doing this. Can I have some support? Which is the beautiful thing. It's the right thing to do. Don't ever do this in silence. You know, announce, I love what you're doing. Isn't that so cool though, Tonia? You know, when you go, you've got this little goal and go, yeah, I want to do this. Yeah, it is nice.
It is beautiful.
Deborah says she's going in. She's not getting the op. She's actually having a colonoscopy and an endoscopy as well.
Lorinda, that is, not Deb. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, Lorinda. Yeah, my apologies. So yeah, good luck with that, Lorinda. That's never a pleasant one. I think they knock you out for the day too, don't they, Tonia?
I think so. Pretty sure they should for that. So what's everyone doing for Easter? Is anyone doing anything exciting?
Yep, I've remortgaged 3 houses just so I can get some accommodation on the Central Coast in New South Wales.
And then go away with people.
The kids will love it. Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, we're actually going away. Anybody else going away? You going away, Tonia? You've just been on the road.
Yeah, we actually steer. We don't go away in the busy times, and I figure, you know what, we can go away when it's not busy. So we leave it for the others that only get Easter off. They can go and go away, and we won't be another number to that.
Yep.
Many millions that do it.
Yeah, look, we've decided, and it's a good strategy to have, Tonia, as well as just go in the quiet times because you can. We've actually decided to go away with all his sister and brother-in-law and nephew and niece as well. So we thought, because it's their only time off, and it'll be, we've organised the whole thing for them because they've just been under the pump as parents. They've got an 11-year-old and a 13-year-old. They're working ridiculous hours at work, and they just haven't had any time to chill out. So what we'll do is we'll take the kids tonight. The kids don't know they're going up to the Central Coast, so that will be a nice little surprise for them. And they think they're just doing a sleepover, and then we're going to go to some random beach in the morning, which is about an hour and a half for. And then mum and dad will come up and surprise them. So that's the game plan. Hopefully they're not listening to this because it just ruined the whole surprise, ladies and gentlemen.
Dear. Whoops.
They've got better things to do. I don't think they're on Facebook, so it's cool. Yeah, so that's pretty much us. I mean, it is an interesting with the full moon. What have you noticed, Ton? Any craziness going on in your world?
No, not yet. I actually was saying I didn't notice. Normally, it'll, you look out and notice that the moon was full, but I actually didn't last night. It was like, I think we'd had a couple of full-on days driving, so we were like just crashed. So yeah,
Yep.
didn't get to. Normally I would notice. So haven't felt the craziness of it yet, but I'm sure today we'll have.
Absolutely. Yeah. We'll feel the full impact of it today and whatnot. And just we'll take it nice and easy. But it feels like we're quiet out there at the moment. I think a lot of people have left for Easter already.
Yeah.
Shelby goes, I'll ruin your surprise. You can't ruin my surprise, Shelby, if it's not a surprise, and I tell them before you.
So Shelby found a moth in her house. Yeah, there's some moths around at the minute, Shelbs. When she took the photo, it had two eye designs on its wings. They're pretty cool, aren't they? That were kind of blue when under the flash. I think they're magnificent, those, with the two eyes on the wings. They look pretty fantastic.
They absolutely do. They're yeah, and you see those people that actually collect them, where they actually get them behind photo frames and that. That they are spectacular. You're right. I miss seeing the moon. Love looking at the full moon. Yeah, well, Lorinda, you've got a whole lot of that happening now, especially after your sedation. You could be looking at it tonight on a different level there. Once you come out of that, yeah, absolutely. Which is never an easy thing to do.
Look at the positives.
I know. Yeah, it's going to be interesting with a lot of people away this time. A lot of people in Sydney are leaving because just want to get out of the Sydney bubble. That's what like people are already exhausted. They're already really looking forward to it. I'm gonna have to get that, and I'll get back to you.
We all understand this is what business is about, guys. Hey, so how many on today are either in business or working for themselves, and how's things going this year so far? It's pretty crazy to think we're into April already. I actually my mind blown. April, it's like, holy hell, where's this year gone? Where is this year gone? It's crazy. It is really, really crazy. And it's, only going to get busier, I suppose, to a degree. So it's just how things roll. But please share what's happening and how things are for you. We're going to go into 2 weeks school holidays on top of Easter. So that blows things away too. It blows them out of the water. So that will shift the energy a little bit as well. Deb, I need to get a reading. Oh, yeah, anytime. Yeah, Alex, close your shop. He's doing great guns. Alex is an amazing young guy. Like he's a psychic medium, and he was doing that for a while and quite successfully. So then he decided he wanted to go into nursing, and what a great talent to add to his toolkit. I'm just blown away by his commitment to still sort of working in that healing aspect, which is so cool. And it's only going to amplify what he already does with all that knowledge he's learning. So, and being able to help people the way that he's doing is incredible. And I love that. I think it's great that we can do different things. I've always wanted to do real estate. I could if it wasn't that I had to do it full time for 12 months, I would love to jump on board and I'd love to sell properties. I love property, and it saved me having to try and save and buy it myself. I could just, find the right people to buy it. That would be my jam. I love that. But interesting. Margaret, how are you? Meditation taking off. Yay. Hey, Margaret, so good to have you on board. Your two friends, incredible. What talented souls. Ballarat has an amazing amount of talented I'll say women because they're the women that I met, talented women up there. If you want readings, Margaret with her meditation and Margaret's card deck, the Aussie love. We often, share your cards on here. I don't actually think I've got them at hand at the minute, Margaret. But, yes, I have. Yes, I have. I bloody have. Look at this. I do. Aussie affirmations. True blue. I like this one. I'm just going to pull a card while Tony's not here. When you're being your authentic self, everything within you feels right. Isn't that cool? You are aligned with who you are at the core of your being. Be loyal to all you hold dear, your values, beliefs, and your authentic self. Honor you as you are, not as others expect or wish to be. You are yourself. How good's that? That's perfect for right now, Margaret. Love it. Love highly recommend Margaret's card deck, and I think even now she can share that link. These cards are incredible, and so in alignment. Love it. So I met a couple of Margaret's friends. It was so funny. I will share the story at the Gathering of the Goddesses here in Victoria. So Margaret's friends were parking their car, and this is how we met. And I'd already parked my car and I was close to the entrance. And so these girls were staying there for the weekend and I wasn't. So they couldn't find a car park. So I was like, hey, I'm going to move my car so you girls can park near the entrance because I'm not staying and I might get locked in if I park my car there. This is Tony sharing about Margaret's friends that I met. And Margaret's our Aussie affirmation legend. Oh, I better put it up the right way, Margaret, hadn't I? And yeah, so these two girls were like, thank you so much. So I sort of backed my ute down and they parked in and we, that was fine, had a quick chat. They came to one of my sessions and then we work out they're from Ballarat and they know Margaret, Margaret is on our feed. So, and they're both so talented. They were amazing. Like I was really blessed to connect with them, but I went, small world, hey? It's a really, really small world. So
it is.
I was just sharing, Tony, about those that may be in business or what's been happening, the fact that we're already in April, where's everyone sitting with, what's going on around them. Jody was meant to come away with us and party with us over the weekend, but she didn't get to, so we will get to catch up at some point. But Jody's sharing here, we've been crazy busy. We took time off in Feb and Dean is ready for a break again. Jody and Dean have an amazing truck business. Dean rescues trucks and then parts them out, but he is absolutely flat out and he's known as the truck part dude. So
like a wrecker, like a truck wrecker.
Yeah, like a truck wrecker. Yep. So everyone knows that they need stuff. Or Andrew, he's always like, go to Dean's. Can you pick this up? Can you pick that up? I'm like, I know Dean's address on speed. Go and pick up parts.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Look, that's a look. It's amazing that you guys. No wonder you guys are doing so well. I mean, like we grew up in the automotive industry. Dad had a radiator workshop for 35 years. So there used to be heaps of car wreckers that we used to deal with in Sydney. They were dime a dozen. And then all of a sudden, because of technology and materials change in cars and things were made to be replaced by brand new or not replaced at all. You just got to replace the whole car. But with trucks, I think, there'd be a big market for that with trucks because they have to be durable. The materials have to be consistent. They can't go to a lighter weight all the time. So yeah, it would be pretty good to do. And you guys love doing your trucks up and things like that. So because I've seen your truck on the road, it looks bloody amazing, that green thing.
Oh, that's Andrew's baby. It's his pride and joy. He loves it. And it's been great because I get to connect with truckies and that's so much fun for me.
Yeah.
Because, we've, one of the girls that shared, I did a reading for, who tagged me this week. We bought it was her dad's motorhome who'd passed away. And when her and I were doing the details, I'm like, I had this, her dad coming through and I'm like, oh. So she was chatting and saying how much she loved the dad. And I said, oh, I just have to share this. I said, and I knew that she was open, so I didn't just randomly blurt it out. But shared a message from her dad, and I said he's saying sorry because there's a lot of stuff that went down after he passed away, and so she was like, oh my God. So I just did a reading for her and her brother this week, and she tagged me and shared, and that was just through buying a motorhome off a lady up in Brisbane. So it's pretty cool.
I've got to say the world of cars, motorhomes, trucks, and everything like that is an amazing world to be in because it's a campfire that creates amazing conversations. Yeah. And that's what I really like about it. Really, really is. And that's what it sounds like that you guys go. I've just had, and Deb's got one here. My husband has put in his heart a month ago. Ooh, that's huge, Deb. That's a big scare. That one.
And that's a very big scare. That's so great they picked it up, Deb. Because if they didn't, like. Andrew, my partner's had a stent put in as well. And you just think, it's so lucky that we have the technology now to find those blockages because otherwise it would be a heart attack. Right.
That's right.
So we are really lucky that we do have that the technology is there now for them to be able to find all these things, which is crazy. And
Yep.
Margaret's she does a collaboration guided sound meditation. I write to sound and the partner plays to my words. Margaret, that is incredible. I hope you're
Nice.
recording. I think you need a studio for that. That would be
Yep.
so amazing. And especially, again, Aussie flavour, something that we could all support you with by sharing. But, yeah, I think that would be pretty cool because you don't see it often. There's a lot from overseas, but not a lot from here in Aussie land, I believe. So there you go. And Deb's son loves the track shows. Yeah, I see Alex at the track shows. That's really cool. We get to catch up. Love.
There's a lot of love out there.
Else
Jack
have we
Murphy
got
Murdoch,
happening?
good to see you on there. She goes, miss you guys. The full moon is truly making me do last step of a declutter. Good to hear, Jack Murphy Murdoch. What are we up to? I'm tired and excited, crazy. But just found out as young mums have passed after fighting cancer. Oh, she was world changer. Was studying to help troubled children. Sometimes I just ask why. Oh, that's sad.
It is. It is sad. You just think it sucks. You know, they're here for a purpose and then it gets cut short. Not fair.
Yep.
Hopefully she got to see some of the change that she started, you know.
But this is an interesting one for a young mum to pass with cancer, and then she was, she was out there to help troubled children, and you do, and it's one of those things, when your time's up, your time's up. It's a really sad one, Jack Murphy. I really, my condolences there. That's a tough one. Really, really hard. Kayla's on board as well. She goes, "Hi from New Zealand. Does my granddad or mum have any messages for me?" Hey, Kayla, thanks for jumping on board. Really good to have you here. One of the things that we don't do is on this, well, Tonia doesn't do a reading or anything or connect to spirit over show. It's very hard to do, and you don't know what's going to come up. Kayla, the best thing you can do is private message Tonia and get a one-on-one with her. That's the best way to do it, and that's why she can tune in and help you reconnect and see what's happening there. But we do appreciate you actually reaching out.
I love New Zealand, and I have got it on the back burner to come over and do some shows, and I've got a couple of connections over there that I've only spoken to probably a week and a half ago. So keep in touch, Kayla.
Keep the channel going. But in saying that, Kayla, one of the things is with your granddad or your mum, I mean, that's a really sensitive one, and coming up, we're always happy to support and talk about, how you're going with that, how you're dealing with the grief of somebody passing away. If there's something there that you want to open up and some struggles that you've got, or maybe some happy moments that you can talk about your granddad or your mum being around, always share, and we're always here to support on those lines there for sure.
Good point, Tony. Really good point. Hey, Bridget. Haven't caught up with Bridge for ages.
Bridget, good to have you on board.
And I know Tony's been busy with all his work. Is it what time is it now, Bridget? What's happening in the world of creating foods? I'm just thinking we're coming to the end of summer, whether there be anything being made or
I know. Ladies and gents, I've got to pop out for another 5 minutes. I'll be back. I'm trying to man the ship here. I'm the only person here, so I'll be back. Keep
Go
chatting.
for it. We understand, Tone. We understand, absolutely. Bridget's got 10 a.m. No, Bridget, I mean, what are we creating in the garden at the moment? How's the garden going? Tony was talking about salami making, but I think that was already done. So I think you've done that side of things, but I'm just not sure whether there's anything else in the pipeline. Tomatoes have been done, but I'd imagine. Anyone else doing anything creative right now? We've got the full moon energy, which is really interesting. Hey, Kaiser. Is Kaiser pronouncing that right? Hey, beautiful. Sending love to you about, the loss of your daughter at 30 weeks. That's really, really, really hard. And having mental health issues as well. Thank you for sharing and being open with us. We really appreciate that. And we're here to support you. So please know that sharing on this feed, there's many of us here that have been through many different things that are here to support you. So please know that you're not on your own. And you've obviously connected with us for a reason. Bridget's popped in here. her internet dropped out. Yeah, my internet's been a bit sketchy too, Bridge. I don't know what's going on around our neighbourhood. Not much in the garden, waiting for spring again. Yeah, so it's a bit of a quiet time right now. Kaiser's painting, love it. I've actually been, really keen to get back into painting. It's a case of just making space to fit that in somewhere, but certainly being creative is a great way to unwind and let go of things and be able to chill out a bit, which, I know sometimes, and even, myself, it's like you just need to chill out and take a step back. And sometimes you don't tend to realize that until you get caught up in being busy. And I know that energy is a bit like that currently. So for a lot, feeling really busy, and, there's so much happening around us that we sometimes forget to make time just to be present. And, uh, those are the important part. And I love, Kaiser, that you're doing your painting. So that's pretty cool. They're the kind of things that help us during the hard times, and when things have happened to us that maybe are out of our control and not ideal, that you can have something that is that creative outlet and that you reach out. So, please know that depression and anxiety, absolutely beautiful. Well done for staying strong. It's easier said than done. And, many of us are here to support you on that journey. Kathy shared here, I lost my husband 4 weeks ago to cancer. We've had a 10-year-old daughter. It's so hard. Oh, Kathy, I'm feeling for you. Gee, that's hard. I mean, it's hard to go through the grief yourself, let alone having a 10-year-old daughter that you're holding space for as well. So I'm really sending out much love to you, because that's not easy, not an easy time. And cancer's horrible. It's just, we hear of it too much. And that's, to me, it's like, why, it's been around for so long now. Why can't we come up with something? Because it just seems crazy that, there's not answers to I know we're getting better at it, but yeah, it's frustrating that there's not the answers to help with cancer that we really, want. So I'm really feeling for you, Kathy, and thank you for reaching out and sharing, because, many of us can relate to that. Very traumatic. And if I can say one thing, Kathy, and that, I connect a lot with those that have, gone through grief, that be kind to yourself. You really have to give yourself time if you can. Sometimes it's easier said than done, but be really kind to yourself and give yourself time to navigate this, because there's no one size fits all. You have to follow what feels right for you. And if I can say one thing, when it comes to grief, it is an individual journey. Carmen's jumped on board. Hey, Carmen, blessings to you. Carmen's amazing. She helps a lot of beautiful souls going through grief. Carmen's really amazing. And, and I think sometimes it's about sharing that with somebody. Kathy, it's like you need to reach out. And thank you for sharing. I feel so alone. I don't hear from any of his family or friends. And that is a hard one. Now, I know with my partner, when we first connected, he'd lost his partner to cancer, and he was like on his own, and he said, no one wants to talk about it. And it was like all the blokes were like, they didn't know what to say. So they just tended to avoid him. And it was the worst thing. And I think sometimes we can, as humans, we can suck at supporting someone through grief. So I think sometimes it is about reaching out to those that give you that support, Kathy. And, don't think it's you. And for many people, they just, and I don't understand it, but it is a common thing. We tend to skirt around the surface. When somebody's lost someone, people get a bit caught up on, I don't want to say the wrong thing. So they then just shut down, rather than at that time that person needs that support. And I think this is a great reminder. And I appreciate you coming on, Kathy, because we all need to be reminded of that, grief and loss is such a it's such a lonely path that we need support. And I think it's important that, we reach out to those that are going to give support, Kathy. So, you really need to just remember that and go, whether it's coming on here and sharing with us and knowing that we are a community of support, and we all do, we all do support those that are going through similar to what you are. And so Kathy's put they've become a bit nasty. Just distance yourself. You don't need that. You don't need that kind of energy around, and be okay with that, because it's their stuff. It's not yours. And it's as hard as it can be. And even Kaiser's shared there. Sometimes I feel like no one cares. So, it's a hard thing. We're just sharing, Tony. Kathy's lost her husband, and she's got a 10-year-old daughter. So she's just sharing 4 weeks ago, and, trying to pick up the pieces and feeling really alone with it.
Yeah, Kaiser, thanks for reaching out. That's a really hard one. That's tough. Look, I think a lot of people get, it's really hard too, Kaiser. This is a hard one. I think people do care. It's what we struggle with is how do we be there for somebody when they're grieving? And that's a really tough one, because people want to be there for you, but we don't know how. We haven't been taught how to. And I think sometimes in that process, it's sometimes you've got to, and if you've already mentioned this, guys, I'm pretty sure this community is so great like this on TNT, where sometimes you can ask for support. You just go out and say, hey, I just want to hang out with somebody. And you don't want, and Kaiser, I know it's like, you don't want counseling. You just want to hang with somebody and just talk about whatever, or just be in the presence of somebody else. Sometimes that's really healing. And look, you'll see a lot of people will actually be cool with that. But sometimes you have to navigate them through the conversation of what's said and again, look, I don't want to get into I get it, they've passed away, I just want to hang out. Or sometimes you want to talk about them and reminisce and do whatever. Well, you dictate where you want it to go. And that will help facilitate the conversation, but also it will help a friend help you grieve as well, or a family member. Really, really important. But yeah, my heart goes out to you. My condolences. That's a tough one. Very, very tough. What else is out there?
Well, if you find, Kathy, that you struggle, get onto a professional, whether it's, somebody that does healings, or Kaiser's shared here, she's had a counsellor. Like, get somebody that's on your side, that sometimes isn't related, or, if you struggle with, you haven't got that friend to be able to, like Tony sharing, then find somebody that can be your personal, like, helper to navigate this, because it's a really hard journey, and I do believe we can't do it on our own.
Yep.
Don't you reckon, Tony?
Oh, no way. Look, you've got a daughter to look after as well, and Kathy, as a mum, I guarantee you're a fantastic mum. And just, what, Kathy, it's moment by moment, day by day, as I say. You're going to have times, as you've already experienced the loss, where it's going to hit you out of nowhere, and you're going to be, crying and teary-eyed, and it could be in the middle of shopping. And if that happens, just let it go. Let it be. Don't try to hold it back. Just allow you to actually be in that sorrow and that pain, because there's, some people go, oh, you'll snap out of it or whatever. That's bullshit. It hurts. It sucks. And just be in that emotion, and accept that's where it's at the moment. Don't try to change it. There's in a grieving situation, people try to change the way they feel. They go, why does it hurt so much, or things like that. Don't try to change. Just be blessed that you had a beautiful husband and you've got a 10-year-old daughter together. That's the way I look at it. Like, there are some, and I love what Kaiser's got here. Yep, absolutely, had a counselor, all that, and that will happen in time whenever you're ready, Kathy. Well, what are some things that are helping you already, Kathy? Like, I don't know, in this journey.
Yeah, absolutely. And being only 4 weeks, it's not that long. No, and Carmen's sending love and light to you and your daughter, Kathy. So that's beautiful. Yep. And Diana, hi Diana, gorgeous girl. Kaiser's put, let your bad thoughts go by until you're ready, as I've been told. Beautiful. Yeah. Be an allowance, Lorinda's got a really good one here. People don't know how to care or support people these days. My situation is completely different, but I feel extremely isolated and like no one cares. Been in hospital since Sunday, and I only hear from mum and my little family. And that's it is a hard thing, isn't it? Because is it sometimes that people don't know what to say, or are we that busy and caught up in our own stuff that we then don't make the time to reach out to those that need it? Or is it that we assume you've already got support? Like that
That's
could be.
another thing. That's a good one, Tonya, actually. Yeah. They go, oh, no, they've got support, or they'll be right. They'll be right. There's not much more I can do. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, never assume. And the other hand, I suppose too, like Lorinda, you bring up a really good point, doesn't she, Tonya? Because there's also the question is, where do you draw the line of how much care and support that you give? You go borderline of harassment where you go, are you okay? Are you okay? And you're ringing them up every 5 minutes because you care and you love them, right? And the other extreme is you ring once a week. Is that not enough? Is that too much? Like, where do we draw the balance? That's such a tough one to do. I don't know. What do you guys reckon? That's a really tough one with giving somebody support.
Absolutely. And it would be interesting to see what would be your expectations. And this is something to throw out to those that are listening. So if you're in that situation, where you're in hospital or you've got something going on, what do you expect? Like, obviously you've got your close family, of course, are there to support you, but what could you share here that maybe one of us could be, taking note of, and myself included here, is, what some of the things that you would really, really appreciate, say from somebody that is a friend or a distant relative even, that would be supportive for you in that moment. Because, sometimes we don't think of everything, and obviously this has come up for a reason.
Yep, exactly.
Diana
yes, sorry.
included. Sorry.
No, go on.
Diana's included a good one here. People don't know what to say. My niece passed and my son struggled to reach out to my sister because they can't deal with the loss themselves. So this is that's another angle when somebody passes, like that. If someone's not dealing with that loss, to be able to reach out and support someone else is really, really hard. And it's probably something we don't think of.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? I mean, like, Diana, that's a really hard one. They don't know what to say. You know what? At the end of the day, Diana, for your sons, basically, look, when somebody passes away, this is the hardest thing. It's the easiest and the hardest thing. You don't know what to say because you don't want to say something. You don't know what to say. And that's why I think the term "my condolences" is most probably the best thing that you do, because it sums up everything that you're trying to say. I'm sorry for your sorrow, for your loss, for everything that's just taken place. I don't know but I want to acknowledge. See, when you say my condolences, it's an acknowledgement that they're going through pain and grief. And that's pretty much it. That's all you really want to hear when somebody passes away. Because I guarantee you now, yourself, Tonya, and everybody else has had people that have passed away at some point. There is nothing where a person's come up to you and go, oh, Tonya, your mum passed away. I just want to share this with you, this, that. And you haven't walked around and go, fuck, that was a great thing to hear just after my mum's dead. Because you don't remember shit. You don't. And you know what, Diana, you hit the nail on the head. And a big hug always helps as well. Absolutely. A hug's most probably better. My condolences. But the problem, and this is what Diana says, is that because we don't know what to say, we choose not to say anything because we don't want to stuff it up. Which is now you're not acknowledging anything at all. And the person goes, just as we were saying before, they're going, Lorena goes, and nobody cares because maybe they don't know how.
That's right. And maybe that's a reminder to say sometimes it's just about giving somebody support and going, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I think being honest.
Yep.
There's nothing I can say.
One, I really like that one. I don't know what to say, but it must really suck. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's being truthful.
And I think sometimes, like you say, it's avoidance. We'll avoid that.
Yeah. Avoidance is a big one. Yeah. People, it's I don't know, it's self-preservation, I suppose, for that person. I don't know what to say. I'll just be quiet.
And everyone handles grief differently. And if your upbringing has been not to deal with grief, or, you don't know how to support somebody on that level, or you've never been shown how to. There's so many different aspects of the way people are programmed as to how they deal with things like that. And even for Lorinda, everyone knows no one's come and visited. Or maybe people just might assume that you're a strong, independent woman, Lorinda, and that you're doing okay. That's another thing that, I'm not making excuses, but sometimes people can come at it from a different angle, and we just look at it and think that they don't care.
Correct. Absolutely. That's such a good point, Ton, because, if you're that strong character, go, no, Lorinda's fine, don't worry about it. Or she's most well got heaps of support anyhow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a good point, Tonia. It really, really is. And I think what we do is we try to pull out the crystal ball and go, what it is. Look, everybody's different, as you said, Ton, and everybody deals with grief differently. Some people go over the top. Some people just don't do anything at all. And some people hit the sweet spot. But, I think go with your gut feeling. I think Diana's got some great ones. My favorite one is Diana's one where she goes, just give him a hug. That's pretty much it. Yeah, I don't know about you, Tonia. That would be enough for me. I'd be like, yeah, thanks, man.
Yep.
I know
absolutely.
Exactly. You got one up here from Jody here.
Yeah, so Jody's shared here, when her dad passed, we lost contact with all family and friends. We believe that most were just as sad because of the shock and circumstances, but they were worried that upset my mum if they were to talk about it. And that's another one, isn't it? People get like they don't want to say the wrong thing, or they feel that they're going to upset somebody, or, that's a common one. And I'm glad you've shared it, Jody, because I think that's one that, I think many people would relate to having experienced that.
Yeah. And yeah, it is. That is a tough one, Jody. You know what else, Jody? You know what you've made me think of? Have you ever had this, when you're too scared to actually talk to that person because, because it might upset them, right? But some people have shit reactions too, Jody. I think what you're bringing up, like you might go up to someone and go, "Oh, my condolences," and they'll snap at you, go, "Yeah, look, he died or she died 3 years ago. I'm over it," or 3 months ago, and I'm like, "Whoa, dude!" Like, I was just trying to, I've had that happen to me in the past. I don't know if anybody else has. And you're like, talk about once bitten, twice shy. You go, well, fuck, I'm going there again. Like, there's no way in the world. Yeah.
That's something that absolutely experience that. Then you think, oh no, I can't mention it or talk about that person. And you don't know where people are at. So there is that aspect of, do you step inside the ring or not?
Yeah, exactly. Do I step in the ring of fire? We're going to step in. Do we put 1 foot in, or do we take 1 foot out? It's a tough one. It's really tough. And I think sometimes people will react like that, and you just go, oof, let it be. And then you revisit it later on, or I don't know. It's because we're not dealing with the logic here. We're talking about purely raw emotions. Like that's it,
Vicky's got a good share here. Thanks, Vicky, for putting up. All I say is nothing I can say will help right now, but please know that I'm here for you when you need and when you are ready. And I give you a huge hug. Love it, Vicky. That's a great one. That's a great one.
Yeah.
And then she's added to, or sometimes just say nothing and give her a huge hug, like Diana's share as well.
Yeah. Yep, I like that, Vicky. That's pretty insightful. That's I like, because it's true. It's like nothing else you can say right now it's going to really help. But I'm here for you when you need me, sort of thing. So it's true. Because, and that's how Vicky brings up, because you giving your condolences to somebody is not the magic wand for them to be alleviated of all the emotional pain, because that's not going to go away. It's just pure acknowledgement that knows that you're supported in pain is what it is. And that's what Vicky's saying really, really, really well there. I like it. Really like that, Vicky. Very, very intuitive, very insightful, that one. It's
brilliant. And that's what I think is so powerful now when we look at, whether it was Kaiser sharing or Kathy sharing there going through grief and loss, is that we're able to talk about it and we're able to share it in a forum like we are here. And I think there's so much power in that, because probably 20 years ago we wouldn't have. We would have just been like, you know, you just weren't able to share, and people didn't hold space. And I think it's so cool now that we can do this, and that you lovely ladies can share your loss with us, and that's educating all of us at the same time. So through your hardship and your heartache, you're sharing with the rest of us to really help educate us on how we can help those going through, you know, not of course exactly the same, but we all will know of somebody going through some sort of grief and loss, and your sharing's really a reminder for us all to go, hey, okay, we're in that situation, what do we do? And it's pretty cool. That's really, really cool, I think. You know, Vicky shared here too.
Wow.
And, you know, and we've had a lot of loss here today on the feed. So Vicky's lost a little girl in 2003, so I've experienced that side of things, and nothing no one could have said to me took any of the pain away. Just knowing they will be there for when I'm ready is all that I needed. Thanks, Vicky. Thank you for sharing. That's incredible.
It's a nice insight. That's I feel sorry for you too, Vicky. That's a tough one. Losing your little girl in 2003. I really feel for you on that one. But at the end of it's really interesting. Just knowing they'll be there for me when I'm ready, when you're ready. And that's the thing. It's when you're ready for their support, because you're dealing with a whole lot of stuff, and just knowing. It's like saying, who's in my support team for when I'm going through grief. Put in and then Vicky will be going, yep, I know I've got this person I can count on, and it might be 2-3 years time down the track, it might be 10 years down the track, it could be 3 weeks after the event, you just don't know. But knowing that she's got there will help her a lot. Kathy's on there as well, saying sorry for your loss, sending much love. It is. It's geez, not being a parent, I don't know, you are a parent, Tonia, so you would get a little bit of that pain knowing what that's like to lose a child.
It's one of the hardest things I find with mediumship is when children come through. Like it's as a parent, and even though Tony, you haven't been a parent, you've still got that parenting through the nieces and nephew. You know, you still have this child connection, and the loss.
It's called having fun with them, and then you hand them back to the parents. It's so cool.
Absolutely, you know, and it's like whenever children come through, I'm like, okay, then I really do have to go put my heart aside and honor, and I really do put a lot on myself to go, I want this child's information to come through exact. It's like you always do with all of your connections, but when it's children, there's something about just going, right, I have to totally get this, you know, 100%, because it's like, as a mother,
is there that pressure to really get the messaging, like you put upon yourself, because you know how much the mother wants to hear or the father wants to hear it?
Well, for me, it's always about the spirit. So when the children come through, I want to get it right for the children. And that's
right.
It is so, like, it's because they're so, the way that they come through for the parents, and they always come through so amazingly. Like it's just so beautiful. And to me, you feel that pain as being a parent yourself and go, wow, I haven't lost a child, so I can't really, you know, I say to many that have lost children, I'm feeling for you, but I don't have an understanding because it hasn't happened to me, but I can only imagine how painful that would be. And so I then go, okay, I'll, you know, sit in that. But yeah, I just have that real extra thing with the children. I don't know. And I suppose I'm like that with children too, that are here. It's like you just want to honor that connection from that parent to that child. And, you know, it's a real special, to me, it's an extra special connection is what I want to say. And you've been there, Tony, when I've connected for people in audience situations.
It's amazing.
The power in the children coming forward, and they're always around. I say they are always around their parents, you know. But yeah, to lose a child is something that as a parent, it's just so hard to imagine. And Vicky's put in, yes, I'm practicing mediumship. Good on you, Vicky. And, you know, it's often when you lose a family member that your mediumship is amplified. For me, it was the passing of my mum. And, you know, the fact that you've got your daughter in spirit guiding you, like that would be an amazing journey for mediumship for you. And I just think that's pretty special.
Good on you, Vicky. I agree. I think it's super cool. Get in touch with Tonia. PM give her a private message and chat about how you're practicing your mediumship and how it's going. You guys can. It's a good place to be. It's very rewarding. Like the connections that I see you make, Tonia, when you're up on stage and what it means to that family member is priceless. Priceless. You can look. Tonia can put a price on it, but honestly, it's priceless. Like it really is. But it is a beautiful thing. Diana comes in. She goes, saying loss is never easy. It's hard to heal the hollow. Yes. But I'm blessed to have the best friend ever, The hardest thing is forgetting they've gone and you go to call them or message them. Yeah, that's it. Isn't that a bugger, Diana? Tonia, we've all been through there, you know, especially when good news comes through. I'll just give them a quick call. And then that's where that realization comes in, going bugger, you know. And yes, my niece was born when I was 12 and now I'm 52. She's like having a daughter, sister. Love and light to everyone grieving right now. Yeah, absolutely. But you know what? You've got some beautiful, beautiful memories. And it sounds like you're connecting spiritually anyhow. Because every time you go and you want to call it, that connection's already made on a spiritual level. So super, super cool, Diana. Really cool.
Yeah, Diana's amazing.
I've got a question for you. It's a 2-second conversation, Tonia. Because you watch this. This is all I know. 2-second conversation.
I can see your brain lighting up.
No, if you're going to connect with an infant that didn't have the ability or wasn't at the stage where they were able to talk, right? So they're still an infant. They're like, right. Are you able to connect to an infant and actually have a conversation with them in spirit?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, you know, even if they didn't, if they, you know, they may have passed in utero or
like a stillborn or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And they will bring through evidence so that you can share that to say, okay, because, you know, there's things that I wouldn't know they're passing that you know they bring through really clearly. And I often find those that pass before, you know, maybe being born or were stillborn. Kaiser was on earlier. She lost her daughter. It's like their journey here wasn't to be in the physical form, but it is to be in the spiritual form. So they'll always sort of hang around. Yeah, they'll always hang around. And Kathy's got a good one here, because this is a really common one that we get asked, Kathy, and it's one that is you know, is a good one for us all to have answered, because it's something that we're not always clear about. But when we are going through grief and loss, that will be the hardest time to connect with your loved one, because part of our journey is we have to experience that grief and loss to then be able to see the signs. And yes, some people might get signs soon after somebody's passed, but it all depends on where we're at on the journey. And we also have to remember that when somebody passes, they've got to then do what they're doing over there. And then it takes a bit for them to come down and connect. So it's a bit like, you know, to connect to a loved one, there's a frequency. So we hear, and I say levels, but it just for us humans. So they're here, we're here, the frequency's here. So they have to come down, we have to lift up. Now, when you're in grief is the hardest time for you to lift up. It really is, because, you know, you can imagine with grief, there's a lot of heaviness. There's a lot of things that we're going through. And so we're kind of a little bit blocked. And that's where you'll often hear a lot of mediums won't do readings until the person's been passed for at least 6 months. That's not uncommon to hear. And the biggest part of that is because you need to have gone through grief and loss. And I have done some readings where people have been not that far out. And if they're stuck in grief, they're not actually taking on what you're giving them. So I do relate to that. Again, it's not everyone. And I have done some amazing readings when people have only recently passed. But there is a bit of a time thing. So for you, Kathy, with, you know, the fact that it's only been 4 weeks, just give it time, because it will come along and he will give you very clear signs. And trust me on that, they all do. Diana's there, Vicky, all of those that are a bit, you know, like that understand mediumship. and have worked with it, they will all give you clear signs, but it's all about timing. So
isn't it interesting? Yeah, and I understand what Kathy's doing. I totally get where you're at, Kathy, because you're going, I just want to connect with him. I know he's passed. I want to connect. And what you're saying is you're blocking that energy because you've got too much going on at the moment. It's almost, Kathy, and please, I say this with love and respect, but it's almost like, when you're single and you're trying to date and you go, I want to get a partner, and the energy so much, you're blocking yourself to actually get that connection.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Is it similar to that? It's so like it's Absolutely. Too overpowering. It's too amplified.
Yes.
And when you've got that, the amplification is all your energy is going out, but you can't receive anything in. Whereas like I want, and there's no Absolutely. inward thing. Yeah.
And what I would suggest, Kathy, is just keep having that conversation. Keep chatting to him like he's in the next room. Just keep that dialogue open. And you will find at the right time, you will get the clear signs. And honestly, he'll blow you away because they do, they really do. But I say it's like they're in another room in regards to them. So just have those conversations, ask him for help, for your daughter, and, and definitely be, of a nighttime, I'd just say, just let me know on your sign. Now, an example of that for me was when I lost my mum. I said, okay, Mum, what's going to be your sign? And it did take probably, a few weeks down the track, but I was sitting out in nature and an orange butterfly came, and it seriously came and pretty much like sat there right near me. And I was like, and I just looked at it and I went, oh, that's the sign. And I knew. And so from then on now, I'll often see the orange butterfly randomly on its own, or I'll be doing something that Mum enjoyed and there's the butterfly. I'm like, oh, wow, look, Mum's there.
That's cool. That's nice. So, I like that. And you can see that sign.
And you will go, that's a coincidence the first time, but, because that's human nature. But as you go along, there'll be more, it'll be stronger. And it's those random things that, that present themselves, and that's how they will present themselves.
I like that because that's something to look forward to Kathy, for sure. That's a really nice. And Kathy, just to put your mind at ease, look, my auntie lost her husband, I don't know, 6 months ago. I can't even remember, whatever it is. But I spoke to her the other day, and she still walks around the house, and she's like, she talks to him out loud. She'll go, Les, this is it. And she goes, it feels like he's still in the house, because whenever she'd ask him anything, he'd never answer back anyhow. So, so Kathy, my thing is, you're not going insane if you're still having conversations with your husband. And there's times when my auntie will break down and cry and go, oh, cool, that's the conversations we used to have. But that's normal. And then she'll go and have a laugh about it later on. But it's crazy stuff. It really is. And just give yourself some time, and it will happen.
Absolutely. And it can be anything. Diana's put here, she gets rainbows. So look out, Kathy. He's got a good sense of humor, I'm sure. So there'll be, sometimes it's funny things because they want to see you. The hardest part for them is witnessing the grief that we go through here. That's not easy. So don't be surprised if there's some funny things thrown in there to get you to have a bit of a smile on your face. So,
absolutely.
The essence of the person never changes. So in the spirit world, they still have that as they would have been here. So just look for that. Look for those.
Yeah. Wow.
But we're at time now. So it is time to wrap up, and thank you all for, connecting. And it's been an amazing show today. And I really feel honored. And again, we've attracted all people that have, had similar experiences, and I really feel honored to have been able to connect with you all and share. And it's just been amazing. So thank you so much. And we'll be back the same time next week and for a catch up, but thank you all. So many blessings. So that's it
absolutely.
for me.
That's it for you, Ton. Yeah, thanks, Ton. Yeah, no, that's cool. No, absolutely. Have a great Easter. Have a great Easter, everybody. It's been an absolute privilege to be in this community today and have these chats. Some really good shares today. Absolutely love the vulnerability. And, this community is all about supporting one another. So hopefully we've done that today. And I think we have. I think we've reached out and done really well. But keep safe over the Easter break, and let's do all this crazy stuff next week. Let's bring up some other stuff and just chat. That's what we do. Sit around the campfire and have a chat.
Absolutely. Get the campfire going.
I know. All right. See you guys. Be safe.
Take care, everyone.